Hello everyone! Now, today I've decided to just kind of spontaneously do another tier ranking video. Now, hopefully the audio is a bit better in this one than it was for when I ranked my 30 Stephen King books. Pardon me, I've just had a pizza. Anyway, I'm just going to be ranking Stephen King movies, so not adaptation. Well, obviously I will be concluding adaptations, but there are some movies like Creepshow, which aren't adaptations, they're just movies that Stephen King worked on. And I'll only be ranking the ones that I've seen. So I've gotten pretty much ordered the ones that I've seen and the ones that I haven't seen down the bottom. If I come across one that I have seen, I'll put it in, but I'll have a closer look later. Anyway, I've got it divided into 6 tiers here. So I've got the best of all time, which aren't just the best Stephen King adaptations of all time, but in my opinion, some of the best movies of all time. The great movies, the good movies, the alright, but not that good movies, the shit movies, and the unbelievably awful movies, because I haven't seen nearly all of them, but Stephen King adaptations are like infamous for being unbelievably awful, and there are a few that I'm happy to rip into today. So I'm just going to go into order from what I've seen. So the first one here is The Running Man, which I hardly even call a Stephen King adaptation. It's a really cheesy, kind of goofy Arnie Schwarzenegger movie, and it is quite fun, and I did definitely enjoy watching it. I'm gonna put it in the good section because it is a very fun movie, but it's not a great movie, but like I enjoy it for what it is. I bought the Blu-ray of it. I've got to hear some. Here it is. Yeah, I got it. As it can't be that bad if I went to buy it for $15 and a hard copy. So it's a pretty good movie. Awful adaptation. It just kind of shares the same name and the fact that there's a murderous TV show. That's about it. Creepshow. Oh, I love Creepshow. I don't know if it deserves great, but I'm going to put it in the great. I really like it. The Shining, best of all time. My favourite movie of all time. I don't think anything will ever overtake it. The only thing that's ever come close is Alfred Hitchcock's Vertigo. But even then, it's a very close second, but I just can't see myself liking any movie anymore. Okay, what do we got? We got Secret Window, with the Johnny Depp movie adaptation that I think every single person has forgotten about. Well, no, not every single person has forgotten about it. Every single person has forgotten about it being a Stephen King adaptation first, and then everyone just forgot it existed, and I really like it, so I'm going to put it, I like it a bit better than Creepshow. I think it's really well acted. I think it's paced pretty well. I really like the end of it. I feel like basically, I think that movie gets a lot of hate, which I've kind of talked about it in the past, but so I won't go into it here. But I think it's a really good movie. Gets a lot of unwarranted hate. Salem's Lot. This one's fantastic. I really like it. I'm putting it in the great section. You know, I'm going to put it actually in front of Secret Window. Cat's Eye. I'm going to put it in the good section. Definitely above The Running Man. I really liked it, but just doesn't quite compete with Creepshow, Salem's Lot, and The Shining and Secret Window. But that's alright. It's a really fun movie. Another Drew Barrymore Stephen King movie. It's actually an interesting one because it's like 3 short films put into one, and 2 of them are based on short stories from Night Shift, The Ledge and Quitters Inc., and they were both great. And then the last one was really silly. It was just written for the screen. It was fun, but like it was stupid. Shawshank Redemption. I'm not going to talk about that movie because I feel like I don't need to. I feel like if I do, I'm going to go on a tangent about how much I love it. It's a great movie. Anyway, next. Graveyard Shift. Now this is one of those ones that is awful. The Graveyard Shit. It is unbelievably awful movie. It is one of those movies. It is one of those movies that you can sit down and enjoy it because it is so bad. It's got Brad Dourif playing a fucking rat exterminator, and like, you know, he just recently come to fame for playing a literal rat in the Child's Play series. It's a fun movie. A lot of rats, a lot of, like, you know, actually half decent scary looking things. Awfully acted. Just or just, it's just a mess. Like, the final act of that movie is so much fun, but it makes no sense. Firestarter, I'm gonna put it in the, yeah, I'm gonna put it in the good section, actually. Yeah, I did quite enjoy that one. It was a little bit lackluster. Overall, it just didn't really pack much of a punch. But it was a competently made movie. The Mangler might be the worst movie that I've ever seen, maybe. Maybe not. It is astonishingly bad. Like, if you don't know the premise of The Mangler, it's based on a short story, and it was a fine short story, but, you know. It's about a killer washing machine. And it has... Oh, Jesus Christ. This might be kind of a spoiler, but honestly, like, you know, you shouldn't worry about spoilers with this movie because, like, it is just almost not worth it. Robert Englund, the man that played Freddy Krueger. Jesus Christ. How do I say this? He plays an old man that feeds his washing machine 16-year-old virgins, and Ted Levine, the actor for Buffalo Bill from The Silence of the Lambs, has to try to stop him. And at one point, the washing machine literally grows arms and starts chasing Ted Levine around the sewers. It is really bad. It's almost worth watching. The Dark Half. It's fine. I like Timothy Hutton playing the two characters. He was good. They really fucked up the character of Alan Pangborn. I really didn't like him. I'm not saying Michael Rourke is a bad actor. He's great, but it was just, I don't know. It was a fine. It was just so unmemorable. That's all I have to say. Apt Pupil, I'm going to put that in the good section. I think that's another one of his underrated adaptations. I don't think it's anything astonishing, and I do think the ending falls flat, especially compared to the original ending from, like, the one from the novella. But, it's a good movie. I really like Ian McKellen. Needful Things. This is another one of those really forgotten about movies that I feel like people just do not talk about and do not care about. I'm going to put it in the good section because I actually do, like, it's not a very good movie. It's pretty bad, but it is a hell of a lot of fun. And, Max von Sydow as Leland Gaunt is excellent. He's a great, great actor, and he just ate that role up. And I actually thought that, like, you know, the way everything kind of went to hell was done pretty well. I don't think it ended up, it wasn't quite as severe as in the book, but, I thought it was fun. I thought it was pretty good. Stand By Me, that's another great that I don't want to let myself go on a tangent on. It Chapter 2, I'm going to put it... Actually, I think this is both It and It Chapter 2. I'm going to put it there. No. Fuck. I'm going to put it there. I'm going to put... If I'm counting both the new It movies, I'm going to put it just above Secret Window. It's really good. And I might put it above Salem's. Oh, far out. Jesus Christ, this is hard. I'm gonna leave it there. I'm going to make any rearrangements I need to make later. Pet Sematary, it's a good movie. Plain and simple, it's a good movie. And in fact, I'm going to put it up there. It's good. Fight me. It 1990. Don't know whether to put it in the good or the S section, but I'm going to put it down here. Because it is a lot of fun. It is just gallons and gallons of fun, but like anyone that's not Tim Curry cannot act for the life of them. Oh, God. Alright. The Mist. It's fine. that it's I think it's... I need to watch it in black and white, because the CGI... I just watched it in colour, because that was just the one that was on Stan. The CGI was so awful. It just... I was just watching it and I'm like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. This is atrocious. And the ending was admittedly decent, like... But... I don't know, I just think it's a meh movie. Again, I have to give it a full chance, but yeah. Anyway, The Green Mile, that's another banger. Putting it up in the best of all time. That's just amazing movie. Misery, another one up there. See, these 5 movies are some of my favourite movies of all time, and there's still like a couple more to come of my favourite movies of all time. And they're just excellent. Cujo, I'm going to put it above Pet Sematary, but no, not above Cat's Eye. It can be sandwiched in between. The dog can be sandwiched in between the 2 cat movies. It's another one that's good. I think it's a little underrated. Not underrated, just like kind of just it's gone a bit underground. Like I feel like everyone knows who Cujo is, the rabid dog, but I don't feel like I've seen anyone talk about the movie like ever. Which is strange, because I think it's a pretty good movie. I think it's well paced. I think it's pretty, like, you know, claustrophobic, and I think that's all well done. But yeah, good movie. Pet Sematary, I'm gonna put it there, because I do really like it. I've got a big soft spot. Jesus. I'm just pondering whether it should go over At the Pupil or not. Nah. Actually, yeah, I reckon it does. Because I do like that movie a lot, but it's not very good. But the final act is great, but I don't know. Just the characters weren't very... Aside from Judd, they just weren't very endearing in the movie compared to their book counterparts. Carrie, that's another classic. Again, another just one of my all-time favorites. Gerald's Game, that's going to go in the great section, actually. I'm going to put it above it and Co, actually, because I just... The amount of respect I have for that movie is just, like, so through the roof. It's just how Mike Flanagan managed to make maybe the most unadaptable Stephen King story and just put it to screen is just amazing. And like, that's funny because he was originally envisioned to direct another Stephen King book adaptation of a book that is pretty... I'd consider it to be another very, very tough one to put to screen. That's a revival, but he dropped that one. I'm pretty sure I heard some people in Hollywood, they tried to change the ending of it. Like, no, you do not do that with that book. You don't do it with many Stephen King books aside from it, for obvious reasons, and maybe Needful Things. But you do not try to change the ending of Revival on Mike Flanagan and get away with it. So that's why I think that's why he's walked away, but I don't blame him. Yeah, Gerald's Game, great movie. Maybe even better than the book. Children of the Corn, I'm going to put it in the section, just because, like, it does get really boring in parts, but the opening scene is great, and the credits are great, and the stuff with the kids actually in the corn is excellent, especially, the acting with Isaac and Malachi is just awful, but it's got a charm to it, and I really like that movie. It's a kind of a spooky movie. It's a fun one to just have on. It's got a really, really unsatisfying ending. It just makes you feel like you watched it for nothing, but honestly, I have a soft spot for it, but fuck any of the sequels. I am not watching them. The Dead Zone, I'm putting that in the great section. I'm very, very close to putting it in the best of all time, but I just don't think I can quite put it there. Just doesn't quite sit on the same level as some of those movies, sadly. Gets pretty close, but just not quite. Thinner. What the hell do I say about this one? It is... I'm putting it in the good section. Fuck it. It's awful. It's like the fat suit for the guy. Oh my god. It's terrible. There's like, I won't spoil because like you need to go into yourself, but there's a dream sequence in the middle of the movie, and it is the most chaotic thing I've ever laid my eyes upon. It is ridiculous. It's so funny though. It's such a funny movie. And I'm sorry, they really killed the ending of that movie. And like, it was going well, then they had to add the last little shtick in, which made me a little bit sad, but I absolutely love that movie. I really like it. Christine, the lean mean machine Christine. I'm gonna put it... yeah, I'm gonna put it there for the now. That's a fantastic movie. Really good book-to-movie adaptation. It took me forever for this movie to actually come. Oh, fuck! Shit! I've actually got my camera, like, sitting up on all my Blu-rays, but... here's the movie. Here you go, there's a shelf of my Blu-rays, and I'm just leaning the camera up against. Yeah, that's a great movie. And the last one I have here is Maximum Overdrive. I'm just putting that in the shit section because, like, the first 20 minutes is one of those so bad it's good movies, but then everything else is so, like, mind-numbingly boring that I can't even put it in the unbelievably awful section. It's just shit, it's just not fun. And that is all the movies that I've seen. And actually, the next one here is Cell, which, believe it or not, I cannot believe that I did this. And I don't think I'll ever forgive myself. I found it for $5.98 at JB Hi-Fi, and I'm just like, oh, I'll pick it up. I haven't seen it yet. And I'm not planning to see it in quite a long time. Because this is supposed to be the most mind-numbingly boring, helmed by John Cusack and Samuel L. Jackson, two astonishingly good actors. And Isabel Fuhrman from this movie, yeah, this one, great actor. Apparently this is just one of the worst movies, like, the shittest movie. I actually watched, because like, I was like, I got this, I was like, oh, I'll look up the opening scene on YouTube, and I saw it, and I was like, why did I... Oh, I just can't believe I own it on Blu-ray. It's just amazing. Anyway, the rest of these I have not seen. Tales from the Dark Side. No, I haven't seen that. It's Dolores Claiborne, Dreamcatcher, Silver Bullet, Lawnmower Man, Run the Bullet. Yeah, okay, so that's all the movies I've seen. Now let's go and rearrange them just a bit. So, unbelievably awful. The Mangler is by far the worst. Graveyard Shift, yes, that's there. Maximum Overdrive can stay there. The Dark Half, The Mist, and Children of the Corn, I think that's pretty good. I mean, The Mist isn't admittedly a bad movie, but I was just... It's like, it's over 2 hours. Like, the bulk of the story takes place in like the first 45 minutes and everything else just kind of drags out and immediately builds up to a good ending, but eh. The Running Man, I'm going to leave that down there. It deserves to be there. It's great, but yeah. Thinner, again, I'm going to leave it down there. It's great, but it deserves to be there. Needful Things, yeah, I'm going to leave that there. Apt Pupil, yeah, that's good. Pet Sematary, you know, I'm gonna put it in front of Firestarter actually, because I do really like the It miniseries. It's just so much fun. The acting is just not good, but it's great fun. Firestarter, yeah, that can sit there. It's an alright movie. It just doesn't really have much to it. Pet Sematary, that's a really good, not really good, but it's good. Cujo and Cat's Eye are both really good movies, and they're going to stay there comfortably. Creepshow, yes, you can sit there in the back of the great section. Secret Window, you can sit there nearly at the back of the great section. It Chapter 2 and It Chapter 1, I'm just going to count them as one. Yeah, I think that's fair enough, because I really like It Chapter 2, but It Chapter 1 just isn't quite there for me. Christine, great movie. Gerald's Game, Salem's Lot, and The Dead Zone. I'm happy with this. And now this is the only one I want to rearrange because I think I got to put Carrie as my second favourite, Misery as my third favourite, and then that. So The Shining's going to be my favourite, and then, yeah, I think Shawshank, then The Green Mile, then Stand By Me. I think that's good. I think, and actually what's funny is I actually made a list sometime last year. It's probably pushing a year now. Jesus Christ. My top 10 Stephen King adaptations. And if you're curious as to how that sits now, it is going to be number 10 is going to be Christine. Number 9 is Gerald's Game. 8 is Salem's Lot. 7 is The Dead Zone. 6 is Stand By Me. 5 is The Green Mile. 4 is The Shawshank Redemption. 3 is Misery. 2 is Carrie. And 1 is The Shining. With the It movies and Secret Window being very close to inching into the top 10. Because I love those movies. And actually Secret Window is another one that I found. It was a bit of a tough find, but I'm really glad I got it. So yeah, that's my Stephen King tier list. Hope you liked it, and I'll see you later. I'm going to go watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood right now, actually. See what's going on there. How long is that movie? Let's check. 162 minutes. That's 2 hours and 42 minutes. Anyway, we'll see how that pans out. Don't like DiCaprio. Don't like Margot Robbie. I like Brad Pitt, but I like Tarantino, so I trust that he will make it pretty good. And I'll see you later. Bye.